Well, hi there, Mouseketeers. Well, we were surprised, but not dismayed at the news that 3 e-ticket Disneyland attractions will be going down in 2020 for refurbishment. In this video, we will take a look at what we know about these projects, when they are happening, and we will speculate about what we would like to see happen. Stick around and check it out. Welcome back to the Disneyland Beat, where our toes tap to a Disneyland drum and we always whistle while we work. Please be sure to like and subscribe and ring the bell for notifications so you don't miss a single Disney beat. Disney Parks has announced refurbishment to Snow White's Scary Adventures, Indiana Jones Adventure, and the Haunted Mansion in 2020. Snow White's Scary Adventures. You have until January 6th to ride Snow White's Scary Adventures in its current form. At that point, it will close for several months. We don't expect it to open until late spring or early summer. In this video, we won't be spending much time on the Snow White refurbishment details because we just did an entire video that addresses that ride and what's happening, shows you renderings, so please check that out. We'll put a link to it down in the description. In short, the big news is that the ride is getting a different ending with at least 2 new show scenes. But we can offer some speculation and thoughts on the information we have though. We believe that the changes coming to Snow White promise to be great and will eventually be considered an improvement on the ride. It's exactly what we would have recommended for a change anyhow. The older version's ending was way too abrupt, so now we're gonna have a more resolved ending. But people are now complaining that they are taking the scary out of Snow White. And I'm not sure that that's exactly what is happening. We think a lot of the scary moments with the evil queen will remain, but the ride will resolve before the exit. I think I understand the complaint. Disney has many times in its films changed classic fairy tales by toning them down and taking out gore and violence. It's kind of hard to argue this point. For instance, the Brothers Grimm version of The Little Mermaid has Ariel stab herself and she turns into sea foam at the end, instead of stabbing her prince when she finds her love for him unrequited and he marries someone else. Now that's a very different life lesson than the one Disney offers in the Little Mermaid film. But I do mean different and not better or worse. Disney's version certainly offers valuable lessons on the rewards and dangers of reaching for your dreams, and it offers rewards and it shows dangers. And I think it's so with Snow White and the story and the ride. Resolving the end of the ride does not diminish the lesson that it offers. It simply creates a stronger narrative to enjoy on the attraction. So I really don't think that the scary is being taken out. That's our opinion, and we certainly value yours too. So what do you guys think about the new ending coming to Snow White's Scary Adventure? Please let us know down in the comments. I'd really love to hear it and have that conversation. Let's take a look at one of our favorite rides in the park, the Indiana Jones Adventure. It'll be celebrating its 25th year in 2020. And it's actually a little unusual that this refurbishment news has been getting so much press. It's only going down for 6 to 8 weeks. And this ride goes down for a few days every year and a few weeks every few years. So this really doesn't seem that terribly unusual to me. According to the permits that have been filed, Disney is not putting very much money into this refurbishment. In fact, it's only a fraction of what's going into Snow White's refurb. The permits detail work being done to the bridge. I'm pretty sure you know which one I'm talking about, the big one, the bridge, and touching up rock work. So that could be lots of things, I guess, with the rock work. Ultimately, we think this is just routine maintenance that is necessary to keep the ride safe, functional, and looking good. They're replacing some planks on the bridge, maybe some fresh coats of paint as well, but nothing major. We do think it's cool that Disney has included the old paper hieroglyphic translator as part of the Disney Play app recently. It's something fun to play with when the line gets long. Now, we're not ruling out the possibility that Disney will do more. It is the 25th anniversary season, but it looks like that's all this is this time around. Dates for the refurbishment have not been announced, but we speculate it will be early in the year, so the ride is open for its 25th anniversary summer season at the least. It's really kind of fun to speculate on what changes you would like to see on this ride in particular. Probably more than any other ride that I can think of in Disneyland because so many effects have broken down and been abandoned since this ride opened. It's really still one of our just absolute favorite rides in the park, and it's just fine as it is. So this is just for fun. So here's our list of top 4 changes that we would want to see on the Indiana Jones Adventure. Time to speculate. Number 1, choose your door. I think this is the effect I would like to see restored more than any other. When the ride first opened, you didn't always drive through the center door in the first room. it would change every time. Sometimes you'd get the left door, sometimes the right, sometimes the center. You get it. The effect was really cool. And it was actually done much like the end effect in the ride with the rolling ball, with the walls that actually move themselves. Looking at the 3 doors, the car would proceed down its center track, but the walls would actually move around so you would choose the correct door. And this makes so much more sense with the 3 different effects that you get in Mara's chamber. It connected the door to the effect inside the chamber and is a much cooler setup for the ride and story. So we really missed that effect. So that would be the number 1 thing I would want to see get put back. Number 2, why's it gotta be snakes? The large snake is a classic and makes total sense for this ride, but we're speculating here, so I would suggest that we would like to see a better animatronic snake, please. The snake is cool, but we think it's a good candidate for improved motion technology. Maybe a more articulate face or coils that move, something that presents a little bit more of a threat, maybe with a bigger jump scare we think would be really cool. Still, we like you, Snake. You're great. Number 3, Rat Log. The Indiana Jones adventure has 2 effects in the lower caves that involve projections on haze or fog. The first is a projection of a skeletal phantasm that you fly through, and this effect works pretty well. The image is quickly recognizable and effective, causing many people to grab at the ghost, only to find nothing there. It makes sense for a ghost to have these qualities, they're ethereal and in fog. But the second effect depicts a hollowed out tree trunk and that you see, and then a whole lot of rats climb out of it. It's kind of over your head. This effect is sometimes confusing and more often than not is missed by most riders. The timing has to be perfect. The fog has to build up enough for the projections to really work, and then the EMV has to pause for you to take that moment and see the rats. And when you have that moment, it's great. But it seems like most of the time, 75-80% of the time, you really just kind of cruise right through it. We don't know we don't know why it's there, and we're not sure what should take its place, but it made the list. Number 4, Graffiti Skeletons. The skeleton hallway that has that awesome dart effect, blowing air on you, seem to really fall short with the skeletons themselves. In Raiders of the Lost Ark, we're presented with this hallway of statues and relief sculptures that blow darts from their mouths when tripped. It's really realistic, and you can see the jungle roots and everything. And instead, in this ride, we get some really cool blacklight paintings of the skeletons themselves. They're really well painted, and blacklight painting is classic dark ride, yeah. So it's easy to forgive, But nonetheless, if you think about it, a series of 3-dimensional or relief sculptures would be a far more impressive moment than the painted figures. So that's one of the things we'd like to see add, and that's the last one. We enjoyed considering what might be, and would love to hear what you would like to see fixed or changed on Indiana Jones Adventure, or just let us know that you love it as is. Ultimately, we want to say again that we really love the ride, and we hope it stays a park favorite for a long time to come. The final e-ticket attraction refurb that has been announced is the Haunted Mansion. We have a date. Starting January 21st, the ride will close for several months for a refurbishment, said to open by spring 2020 sometime, so we don't know when it's going to open. We never do. This seems like an odd date, as the ride usually closes earlier in the year, like January 7th, right after the holidays to change over from Holiday Mansion, but it seems like they're extending the holiday run all the way until January 21st, and then they're closing it for an extended period of time. The mansion just enjoyed a pretty cool 50th anniversary year. They had a couple really cool special events that took over the west side of the park with the roaming cadaver dans and different live entertainment acts and its own special phantasmic presentation there on the Rivers of America. Really cool events. So great year for the Haunted Mansion. This refurbishment appears to just be maintenance. Disney Parks has released a statement saying that many years of putting the holiday overlay on and off has created damage that needs to be restored. It doesn't seem that any changes are coming to the ride, just more maintenance. They will be working on the exterior of the mansion, so don't be surprised if you see scrims going up around the facades. And they're also speaking to fixing interior lighting, which is expected. Disneyland has been upgrading LED black lighting all around the park for a while now, and every time they do it, the ride comes out looking fantastic on the other side, so I think that's great. They also list some mechanical improvements, and we have no idea what this means. This could be fixing an animatronic or the Doom Buggies themselves. Disneyland Paris just upgraded their Doom Buggies, and while the ride is supposed to be very smooth now, we were shocked to find out that the bars do not lower themselves. Ghost Host is getting lazy, I guess. Disney does say that there will be no visual changes to the ride, so this should really please all the big fans of this attraction. The original Haunted Mansion is one of the best dark rides ever made. Each element is integral to the overall experience, and in our opinion, it is all expertly chosen and designed. It's impossible to speculate on any major changes to this ride, for me, as everything just seems so right. So we're not even gonna go there. We wouldn't change a thing. But that doesn't mean we don't want to hear your ideas. Please be sure to leave us a comment with your thoughts on the mansion. Well, Disney giveth and Disney taketh away. In 2020, you have 2 new Star Wars rides, as well as the new Spider-Man ride at Avengers Campus. Both Matterhorn tracks are up and running, the French Fry Rocks are gone, Winnie the Pooh is looking good with replaced recent lighting, and the castle looks amazing. But 3 classic attractions will be down, and we are sorry if that affects your trip early in the year. Try to remember, it's ultimately a good thing, and the next time you're in the park, Snow White, Indiana Jones, and the Haunted Mansion will be looking their absolute best. Well, that's it for today, Mouseketeers. Be sure to like and subscribe, and thanks so much for watching and for all of your support. We hope you have a magical day. See you real soon.